Get this 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.
Something else people are requesting for a ringtone. I can't believe this. It's the song that Ed, you and Rich did live for Justify Your Tat.
Great song.
Have we got that in the computer?
That seems to have gone missing as well.
Seems to have gone missing.
Ironically, not written in the permanent ink.
Good
Tony.
work, Rich.
How can that happen? Like, if something is in there, the only way you can remove it is if somebody specifically requests for it to be removed.
That's right.
Well, so who asked for that to be removed?
Well, I can't seem to find it.
Well, then I demand another one of your masterpieces, Richard. What have you got?
The finger bus is coming and everybody's running from north to Ibiza in the Mediterranean sun.
Okay. Hey, what about Jared from Melbourne? He says, I was at a party on the weekend, was asking
Good on you, Jazza.
around. I asked if anyone could name a Keith Urban song. After half an hour of asking around, finally someone answered, oh, I should know, I have one of his albums. After 3 minutes of thinking, she finally named one, Blue Jeans. So after several months, yes, guys, someone has finally been able to name a Keith Urban song.
Congratulations.
Didn't that take a long time?
Job done.
Well done. Can we have a bit of Keith Urban? Sure.
Candle, candle, burning bright. What met you at Christmas night? All the things you like to do is gone until morning comes again.
Is that making you feel better, Ed?
The hardest job in show business is to find music that actually fits in with my bizarre ramblings.
That is the genius of Matt Dower, because he has to find music
No,
after.
there's no notes, there's no pitch, there's no timing. Ramblings of a lunatic.
Look, I'm padding. You can tell I'm padding, can't you?
No need to pad.
I don't see how
Best
this
phone topic ever.
is going to fill out a whole segment.
Oh,
What is
yeah.
it?
Where have you worn your tracksuit?
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Why would that be a topic?
I used to wear shorts, but then it got a little chilly, Rich. You know what I'm saying?
Not today.
Not today, sir, no. But now I wear tracksuit pants every day. And I feel good about myself and others.
Welcome to radio.
Thanks very much. Anyway, last night I had to go to like a swanky premiere, like a swanky movie premiere.
Oh, yeah.
And I had the tracksuit pants on and I was walking out the door and I thought, no, come on, Ed. Just for once in your life, make some sort of effort.
Yes.
Put a pair of jeans on, Rich, with the butt cut out, obviously.
Sure.
Went along to the premiere, made quite a splash. Anyway, someone that we know, a friend of the program,
Who's that?
young Declan Fay,
Oh, yes.
works on your Rove, works on your community radio, does a bang-up job.
Yep.
He shows up in a tracksuit. And I saw him from across the way, and I thought, he's had the guts to do it when I hadn't. And he was getting very snooty looks.
Really?
From your tuxedo.
Oh, this is like a film festival deal.
Film festival, tuxedo wearing, guys who've gone to the house of Jeffrey Rush for their look. Sort of crazy mid-50s hair with a scarf and a downtrodden look. It's just, because they pretended to produce films for the last 15 years.
There's a lot of that about. So
You know
you're
the kind of
saying,
blokes.
and was Declan cutting a silhouette?
He was cutting a beautiful sort of lilac and yellow picture from
yes.
across the room, and I was introducing him as an amateur boxer, which was going down really well.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but just so he couldn't hear, I said, "That's my friend Declan. He's an amateur boxer." So I heard a few people asking what division he was in, so that went pretty well.
That's great. Well, wearing your tracksuit, see, my wife got me a full Frank Butcher from EastEnders style tracksuit,
Shell suit.
which I've been wearing up the shops.
How's it feel?
Well, I don't feel complete yet. I've got to get some gold jewellery.
Big
I
time.
think.
Yeah.
And I just swan about up the local shops looking like a very thin crime kingpin. sort of the head of some nerd crime syndicate. That's what I feel like. And what I do love doing is going into the fruit and veg shop, and when they say, what do you want? I simply tell them, apples and pears.
Apples and pears.
Apples and pears if you've got them. I'm a geezer.
You're
Apples and pears.
a right geezer.
And then I leave without either apples or pears.
But
Looking good, though.
absolutely.
Cutting a fine silhouette. Mr. Marsden, where do you get around in the tracksuit?
I went and registered my car the other day in my tracksuit pants.
Oh,
brilliant.
beautiful.
Only because I thought that really there's no dress code. And I know that people wear tracksuits to work. There's some wonderful tracksuit gear in The Departed.
Oh, yeah, that's full of great trackies.
Jack Nicholson and Ray Winston.
Honestly, The Sopranos, though, is
Yes,
that's
that's
your
true.
top self trackies.
Yeah. But I don't really have the guts. I've only recently started going down to the deli, just wearing the Ugg boots. And they're Jim Beam Ugg boots.
Just wearing the Ugg boots? That's cutting a silhouette.
And a fez.
And a cravat. But no, my mum purchased me some Ugg boots because I don't mind a sip of Jim Beam occasionally.
Is that right?
And my parents know that, and so they bought me Jim Beam Ugg boots, which you can't wear to film festivals.
Well,
You got to wear your upper class Ugg boots to film festivals.
Got to wear your famous grouse Ugg boots.
You got to wear the
Film
Moe Ugg
festival.
boots.
Hi, Danny. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, boys.
Where did the tracksuit get a run?
Caught.
Oh,
unfortunately.
yes! The Jeff Fennick look. What were the charges?
Driving offences. I did a burnout through a McDonald's drive-through.
Oh,
Wow. And so,
Now, mind you, while collecting the order at the same time.
yeah, now, okay, what exactly is the charge for that?
Reckless driving.
Reckless driving.
Charged with
Was-
being
was-
a
Which, like I thought was a bit hard considering, now I didn't hit anything.
No.
And was the entertainment value factored in?
Oh, yeah, totally. I had the crowd going and everything.
Good on you, Danny. So what was the tracksuit that you thought was court-worthy?
It was just a normal Adidas tracksuit, pair of moccos, a West Coast shirt,
Beautiful.
and a beanie.
And
Oh.
a beanie.
Bit of bling down the front?
No, actually, no. Now, I had the mullet going, though.
Oh, fantastic.
Good on you, Danny.
It was all just to take the piss out of the judge in the first place, so
Oh, yeah. Was he wearing a tracksuit? That would have been good. That'd be a
it
good
would have
look.
been good.
That'd be a great look.
Yeah,
Pot Kill!
That's ghetto. Thank you, Danny. Hello, Josh.
I was in Hollywood last year, and I had a couple of days left and a bit of money, so I thought I went and stayed in the Roosevelt Hotel over there.
Oh,
yes,
classic.
Swanky.
Oh, you know how it is, it's all class. And I've gone out to go and get a couple of six-packs of beer, and I've come back, and through the hotel there was a Victoria's Secret party going on. So I've just walked through and carrying 2 six-packs of beer in my tracksuit.
Fantastic.
Wow.
And did all eyes turn? Did people go, it must be some sort of fashion captain, a mogul?
I think it must have been. I think that some bums walked in.
Now tell me, Josh, did you get any action at this Victoria's Secret party with your six-pack and your tracksuit?
There were a few girls there that were friends with. They were all absolutely gorgeous girls. And I was saying, I hate being around these Victoria's Secret parties because I look so ugly. And so me and my mate tried to even get in there. We thought, the low self-esteem will try and get in there.
okay.
No go.
Great angle, Josh.
I never thought of that one. What
I'm
a
an
move.
ideas, man.
You are.
That is thinking with gas.
All right.
Who's going next?
Hi, Sam. Where'd you wear your trackies?
At a funeral.
Well, what a fitting tribute. Whose was it?
Well, it was a mate of mine from work,
Yeah.
and I just got to the church, and I stepped into a big puddle of mud, and so I had to change into my red tracksuit pants.
Oh,
Wow.
And was it, seen as a respectful gesture? Nobody was offended by that, were they?
No, I explained it, and everybody saw me fall into the mud, so
Ah, right.
I had to get into my work tracksuit.
Yes. And when you fall into the mud at a funeral, no one's really going to laugh, are they?
Well, they did.
Well, there you go.
see?
Lightening the mood.
Can get a laugh at a funeral.
Everybody laughed.
Say it can't be done, but it can be done.
Sam's proved it.
As for this man, Ed Cavalier, yes, at the top of the show, who's impersonating a German polar bear?
Yeah.
The Prize King's coming back. Yeah. All these new segments and competitions you've been floating for weeks. Yeah. When's he going to get round to doing them, Prime Minister?
The day we had the discussion on the 23rd of February, I had a separate meeting with him in my office. He effectively said to me, John, look, I need a bit more time to bring them around. And I said, do you think you can? He said, yes, I think we'll be able to come on board, but I need a few weeks. And I said, OK, and I accepted that in good faith.
Yeah.
5 months later...
5 months?
Nothing material has changed.
No, of course
It's only, we've been going along like this for the last 5 months.
Yeah.
And I just feel that I have been strung along.
Oh,
And I had the discussion with him on the 23rd of February.
Well,
Now, I have been more than patient.
Yep, he has.
check my diary.
as have we all.
When's that power ballad coming out?
Diary.
When's
here.
the rain dance competition?
Well, I mean,
So many things. The crap night out.
it's John's fault because, you heard him say there that he was hoping I'd bring them around. He's talking about the Olsen twins. Now, if he wants to have brunch with the Olsen twins, I'm not the best person to ask. But he keeps calling, he keeps sending me emails, he keeps photoshopping himself into photographs of them.
And then it's such a cheap date.
I know, exactly.
They're not ordering seconds.
No, not at all. One chip between them.
So we don't have any of those segments. All right, we're going to have to go to the emergency sketch.
Ooh.
Oh, Bob Geldof. Now, we do this occasionally. We try and find work for the old bloke.
Poor guy.
He needs a gig.
Well, he's doing ads.
Yeah, he's in that one on the plane.
Yeah.
I thought, what a good job for him could be? Have you ever been at home and have the phone ring and it's like market research people playing excerpts of songs?
No.
They'll just play you 7 seconds of a song and get you to rank it?
Really?
Maybe that's a job for him.
Hello, this is Bob Geldof calling from... Bob Geldof from the TV commercials. The rather unkempt gentleman sitting on an airplane. You've surely seen that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, don't worry yourself about it, because I'm just calling to do a few market research questions. I just need you to...
What is this
about? Just a few tracks off an LP that we're intending to release later this year. I just want to get your opinion on the sound.
Sorry, mate, I haven't got time for any of this.
Listen, we're not playing you the entire track. Obviously, we're just playing a tiny snippet. Then get your sort of feedback.
What's this? How do I do it?
Here we go. This is excerpt number 1. Are you ready?
Yeah. All right.
Here it is. Right. Could you hear that?
There's just a lot of whistling.
Yes, it's an album of madcap sound effects, and obviously we want to test them before we put them out. Don't disappoint people.
Mate, you'll have to play it again, mate.
You want to hear this? No, listen, we've got a selection B. Have a listen to this one. Now, would you describe that track as sufficiently zany?
You're asking the wrong person, mate.
Listen, I'm not going to be stymied by your refusal to cooperate.
I don't know what you want.
Listen, here's selection 3. No, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being
Mate, I think this
extremely wacky.
I think we've had enough of this.
Here's one more. Quickly, just check this one.
Mate, I think that's enough of this.
If you were to hear a track like that on the radio, would you inquire as to what the album was?
No, this is bullshit. I'll be hanging up now.
I think that's probably going to be the single.
All right, we'll find him a job eventually.
Did you find some more new slide whistles in there, Tone? There were some slide whistles I'd never heard.
We've been making new slide whistles down the underground car park. It's the slide whistle laboratory down there.
Here we go. Listen to this. Cruise ship will boost economy.
Oh, yeah.
Townsville, Cairns, the Whitsundays and Brisbane will be ports for a new star-studded cruise liner.
Star-studded?
Well, that's what it says. Headed down here in November. The 2-month visit will generate $7 million, blah, blah, blah. It's 164 metres long.
Right.
Has a capacity for 800 guests and 60 persons of interest. Hang on.
Change for $1.
There might even be more change coming your way, Tone, because each time she berths in Queensland, it will generate more than $500,000 in direct economic returns for the port and $150,000 in legal bills for locals defending the persons of interest.
There you
Bang!
Go. Oh, hello to any persons of interest listening this morning. It is Friday, so it's all jokes must go. Change for $1. You mentioning something else?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can get a new sound for Fridays.
Yeah, this could be interesting. Ed, I know you're a big fan of kittens and cats.
Our feline friends.
Have you heard about Oscar the Death Cat?
Oh, the Death Cat.
What?
Oscar the Death Cat, yeah.
Is he a ninja?
Not so cute, these cats now. Listen to this.
That's right. Oscar the Cat, this is in Rhode Island in the United States.
Oh, so not here?
No, it's somewhere else. But he seems to have an uncanny knack for predicting when nursing home patients are going to die. What he does is he rather creepily curls up to them for their final 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And his accuracy, observed in 25 cases, has led the staff to call family members once he has chosen someone, because it usually means they have less than 4 hours to live.
What, usually? What if they don't?
Well, it's just he just found a nice warm spot to curl up next to.
Sorry, your grandma's dead. Oh, no, these cats moved on. Sorry. We'll call you back. Oh, no, he's back. Oh, no, he's just looking for somewhere to sit.
Is he curling up on their faces? Could that be why it's happening?
Does he have a knife?
I think so. So every time we do a joke, rather than change for $1,
yes,
we just have Oscar the Death Cat for the jokes that die.
Cuddling up to me.
That's right.
I'll be used to that.
That is creepy.
He doesn't sound very scary, the death cat.
No. Give him some music as well.
Oh, okay.
What about some...
Toto?
No.
I always feel a little piece of me dies when that song plays.
I like the rain down in Bolivia. That's a version we want Travis to record when he gets out of that house.
Big brother.
I'm getting really interested in Bolivia.
Are you?
I don't know where it is, but Travis has made me want to go there. The Death Cat, what about some sort of scary purring and then a portentous theme? What have you got?
Purring
Hi,
and
boys.
then...
How are you? What's going on?
Oh,
no.
It's the Death Cat! Oh, no. It's Oscar the Death Cat. He sucks you in with the purring.
Do you think the nursing home staff pretend it's not Oscar? Am I dying? No, that's Fluffy. This is Oscar. His name tag says Oscar. I'm dying, aren't I? No, that's Fluffy. He's got Oscar's tag on.
It's a different
Cut off
one.
for life support. Cut off.
How's your concentration going in? How's the medication affecting you?
I love it.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I'm going to put a challenge out to any influenza bugs out there in the world. If they're listening, come and get me. I am bulletproof. I'm on the cold and flu medication, and I may never get off it.
I don't
never
know.
felt so good.
It's just tricking you, though, but it doesn't mean that
No tricks, mate.
you're not actually getting better. You just feel like you're getting better.
Couldn't care less.
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
happy to get progressively worse if I could feel this good all the time.
Okay, he's on the gear. Because I'm worried about you because you came in this morning and you said, I left all my sandwiches at the sandwich shop. How do you buy some sandwiches and then forget to take them with you?
Walked in, paid for them, and then left. Because what happened was I ran into James Brayshaw from the Melbourne Cage.
Yes. Oh, right.
And he was he walked in and he said, well, thanks very much. I don't see myself up on the Get This Sheffield Shield photo gallery, triplem.com.au. Follow the links.
Yes.
And then I proceeded to name some Sheffield Shield cricketers, and he had an amazing story for all of them.
Wow.
I won't say who,
Yeah.
but one of them used to eat their own bodily waste.
Wow.
We'll find out more when we have JB in.
During the game?
To put the opposition off. You try hitting a cricket ball and looking over to square leg, and there's just a man with a handful. Hey, you like this?
Jeez.
All right. We've had an email
Never
from
drops a catch.
Ben Dover, and then he's put brackets, not the one from Fletch. We love the Fletch references in here. He says, praise the Lord for Get This podcast.
I thought it was just a general praise the Lord. Great, praise the Lord. Good.
Apparently our podcasts are the perfect length for driving from the Gold Coast to Brisbane.
Beautiful.
And back. Is that what they're made for? Is that why we go there?
That is great news. So that means you could leave Brisbane, you could be on the Story Bridge, and by the time the last one of my awful jokes has finished corrupting our otherwise beautiful podcast, you're at Ripley's Believe It or Not.
And there's Warren Capper running from me before your eyes. No, listen to this. He says, as for Sheffield Shield, was it Dirk Wellham,
Dirk Wellham,
the guy who swung his bat at the picket fence and took out Barb, the Carlton cheer squad lady?
It was.
Is that true?
Yeah, he got angry because he got out.
Yeah.
And then he walked off and had a swing and smacked someone with his bat.
Was this some sort of run-in with Wally Grout or Scott Presswidge? It wasn't? What about David Bandy? Was he involved at all?
I don't know, but as Ben Dover says, super stuff that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wanted me to say that. And what about this, guys? Have you checked out the bloke who plays the Super Mario theme on 2 guitars at once?
Oh.
I think that must be on YouTube. He saw it at break.com. All right, important stuff to know. What about this Richard Marsland sighting that I've just been handed from Andrew Mellon?
Come on, dude.
He says, I was once at a Slowdown, which is a charity football match with old retired Adelaide Crows and Port Adelaide Power players.
That's right.
It was hosted by one Richard Marsland.
That's right.
One of the players was Donald Dickey, and Marslando loved it. He made several bad jokes about the name Donald Dickey.
Did I?
There were plenty of kiddies around too. How's that?
I don't recall Dickey. I mean, I remember introducing Leighton Hewitt onto the field. This is at Adelaide Oval in Adelaide quite a few years ago, as a matter of fact.
Man, what a day.
I was loving it.
Working blue in front of the kiddies at a cricket match, or what is it, a football game? One of those two.
Look, I love a Dickey gag as much as the next man.
Sure.
But I don't recall. I mean, I remember I really got into the mood because it was, doing a stadium announcement and sort of like the Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy and just, giving people all these wonderful names, like nicknames.
Yeah, do you want to run some of that gear by us now?
Think of something, Darren the Horse Jarman and so on. Just making them up as I was going along. Brilliant.
What did you do for Dickey?
Dickey, I don't even remember. I don't even David Dickey. I'm not sure.
Let's go to the tape. No, there isn't one. Sadly.
David Dickey.
Thank you very much, Andrew Mellon. As he says here, Ed Cavalier, less short bus gear and get off the Arch Beavis. Not sure what that's about.
Jeez, I'm really confused about Dickey.
Gary Eck is sitting in today. Gary has, he's got an album out too, Gary Eck Live. You can only get that via the website.
At this stage, it will be available at stores when I actually put them in there.
Right.
Good on
I'm
you.
just going to walk in and just replace whatever's number one.
That's the way.
With Gary Eck Live.
That's what you've got to do. Here's a bit off the album I just want to play because it sets us up for a phone topic. Here's something that you like to do, Gary.
Do you ever pretend to have Jedi powers? Do you? I do all the time. You know when you're walking towards automatic sliding doors? And just before you get there, you do that little hand wave. Just for that split second, forgetting that little red laser's hitting you, causing the doors to open.
Who can
what gold.
resist doing that?
Top shelf.
But you do that, really, don't you? In
I
real
do
life?
that, yeah.
That's what we want to talk about today. Little things, possibly annoying things that only you do. I have lots of annoying habits like that. If I go to an Indian restaurant and there's korma on the menu, I cannot resist singing korma, 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 chameleon. And people you're just thrown bodily into the street. But I can't resist doing it.
Yeah.
It's irresistible once I see the word on the menu. Do you have something like that, Ed?
I've taken to, when I say goodbye to someone, after I say goodbye, I'll yell out as they're walking off, keep it street.
Oh, yeah. How does that go down?
People don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
Marsden reply. When do you normally reply? Keep it asphalt.
Yeah, I give it a bit of asphalt, bitumen. I throw everything in there. Keep it pavement, sidewalk.
Keep it median strip.
Just trying to join in with the kids.
What do you do, Mr. Marsden?
Well, I do Papadum Preach when I go to the Indian
Ah,
restaurant.
see?
But I also do a really weird noise that I've been doing since I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I think I might have to take my headphones off to do it. But
Let's see it.
it's
Visual.
like getting air into the upper cheekbones and pushing it down.
Okay, give us
like
a
this.
demonstration.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Oh, see, not
that.
hopefully not at a restaurant either.
I apologise. I'm not sure what that sounded like. Through the headphones, we'll go through the Zapruder footage. But I've been doing that for forever, and I can't work out why. Maybe it makes me feel like a kid again.
It's just you can't stop doing them. At the moment, I have a problem with a lot of documentaries about the pyramids on Foxtel, and inevitably they'll say in the ads, and the Great Pyramids of Giza. And as soon as I hear Giza, I just can't stop doing the voice. I'm a Giza, I'm a pyramid. I might not even be triangular. I'm not to be trusted. I'm a Giza pyramid. And before you know it, I'm locked out of the house. And why wouldn't I be? Annoying little things that only you do.
Hello, Nick.
Yeah, basically, I'm just annoyed. One of you already stole my Jedi automatic door technique.
Copyright,
It doesn't
Gary.
only work for automatic doors. It includes all types of doors, including elevators. And speaking on the topic of elevators, the Stargate ring platform?
Yes.
And, in the show, they always press 3 or 4 buttons for no reason. I don't know. Instead of one button saying up, it's just 3 or 4 buttons. I don't know if they're inputting coordinates. And suddenly the rings drop down. They teleport you via matter stream to another section of a ship, for example. Of course, whenever I'm alone in an elevator, I would always press 3 or 4 buttons, and always the 4th button is the level I want. The problem is when it stops on other levels, other people come in.
Wow. So you're
worth it, though.
slowing down your journey, annoying other people in the building, just so you can get that Stargate feel in the lift.
Oh, you have to also make the sound effects while pressing the buttons, though.
Can you give us an example of that?
And then you imagine the thing coming down like, it's amazing.
And then do the doors open and ladies just stream in with phone numbers for you?
Well, not human ones, but yeah.
Well,
Take your medication and everything will be fine.
Get to work on Babylon 5.
Good on you, Nick.
That's great. I've got to do that too.
Who's next?
Hi, Ian.
I can't help it. Whenever I see the bumpers, you ever seen the bumper stickers that say Free Tibet?
Yes.
I just can't help it. The answer I have to give is terrific, I'll take 2.
Oh, you can't. And even if there's someone else in the car who's heard it 100
Yeah, it
times.
drives them nuts. That and answering billboards that ask questions, how fast are you doing now? And none of your business, that sort of
There
stuff.
you go. You can't. There's certain signs you can't help but respond to. There's a restaurant in Hampton in Melbourne, Victoria, an Indian restaurant called Roti Boti. And I have a relative who just collapses into hysteria. Can't even get the joke he's working on out because he's laughing so hard at the side. Every single time. We'll often divert to drive past it just to trigger him, just to see if he goes this time.
There's a Thai restaurant in Jindabyne called Shit Thai.
There you go.
There's a sign that shit. It's not spelled Shit Thai. It's spelled CH something. Right. But it's called Shit Thai.
And people come from miles just
to get Shit Thai.
There's a Chinese restaurant in Brisbane called the Cum Den, so that's enough
There
of that.
you go. We'll be moving on.
Hello, Peter. How are you?
Something I picked up in Ireland. I say that's what she said last night after just about anything my friend says that turns it into something sexual. Like if someone says, oh, it was hard or it felt good, oh, that's what she said last night.
Annoying. I hate that.
It's the new version of As the Actress Said to the Bishop, which was one that older relatives of mine will still bust out even at a funeral.
Susan, are you there?
I cut round cakes into square slices.
Oh. Now, even if they're not yours, will you take it off someone else's plate and do that?
Oh, no, I cut the whole cake up. Yeah, the kids actually restrain me now so that I can't get to it, so...
Restrain you, tie you down when they've got a cupcake. Why do you do it, Susan?
I don't know. I've always done it, and I cut a square cake into segments as well.
And what happens to the offcuts? Do you have a Labrador?
I get the bit with all the icing on it.
Oh, okay. It's called anything in our house is 10% tax goes to the dog.
Oh, that's cute.
And it's upping the rates to 12% from the new financial year. That's what I'm told. Who's next?
Hi, Cheryl.
Oh, I'm naughty. When someone knocks at my front door, I'll knock back.
Oh, how long can that go on for?
Oh, for about 5 or 10 minutes until either they get let in or they get very nasty with me and they walk away and don't answer, come back.
That must be good for when unwanted religious representatives pop around.
It does. But the thing is that they'll stand there and they'll keep knocking even if I'm knocking back.
They'll knock the Bible in Morse code.
They do, and they keep knocking and knocking, and I just keep knocking and knocking back, and it's a really bad habit of mine.
Good on you, Cheryl.
Nick knocking your own house from the
Amazing.
inside. They're nothing if not innovative, our listeners.
They must think it's an echo when someone knocks. Oh, hang on, there's a knock coming back. What a weird house.
Things you can try yourself. Time for one more, Ed.
Hi, Scott.
Mate, the traffic control people, when they've got the stop and the slow signs out, when you're driving up, it drives my son crazy, mate. Every time we go past one, they've got the slow sign, I always look at them and go, don't be so harsh on yourself.
Yes, and that is fantastic. And you can go even further, which is what I did when I was a kid. I got my own sign that said retarded, and then I would have someone drop me off 100 metres from the slow bloke. So it's a two-part gag for anyone driving past. Hours of fun. Well, have a look at this. Nick Nolte's drunken airport shame. That really could just be,
anything.
Occupation.
Don't you just fill in location? They've just got a template. Nick Nolte's drunken blank shame.
Film set
Airport.
shame.
Yeah.
Appearing in the Hulk shame. Oof. There's so many potential shames when you're Nick Nolte. The unruly actor returns to his old ways as he collapses in an airport lounge and can't get up. And there's a fantastic photo of a leading Hollywood actor just sort of slumped against the plastic chairs while everyday tourists look over the back and wonder who that is, breathing against them.
Former sexiest man alive. Look at him.
That's in the New Weekly. Travellers at Hawaii's Lahuhe Airport were stunned recently after an apparently drunken Nolte collapsed on the ground, passed out in front of them, and could not be persuaded to get up for several hours. While onlookers claim the actor seemed inebriated, his reps have been quick to deny he'd been drinking. Nick definitely was not under the influence of anything, says the actor's publicist. He was just playing around. Yeah, that's an hilarious gag. Slumped against some chairs in an airport for 5 hours. That's a killer. What a payoff.
I know what'll get him. What? Watch this. No, watch this. No, don't go. Stay. No, after the 4th hour, it's hilarious.
It's a slow burn.
It's worth the payoff.
It's like that hilarious prank that David Hasselhoff pulled at the airport where he just pissed his pants. That was a killer, wasn't it?
Fooled me.
Anything for a laugh. But listen to this. Let's give him points. According to eyewitnesses, Nolte was friendly and approachable as he attempted to stay conscious. He's friendly and approachable as he's slumping into a coma.
Mind you, those birds nesting in his hair were pretty nasty. Once he got close, they were feeding their young.
At least he's approachable while he's in a drunken stupor lying on the ground.
Could you sign this for me, Nick? No? Could you just drool on it for me?
That's what it says. He even made an effort to prop himself up onto his elbows to pose for photographs.
With people's ankles.
Nolte was recently voted #1 on a US TV program called 40 Most Shocking Celebrity Mugshots. And there's the photo that I'm hoping will be included on his passport from now on. That is gold. Man of the Year, Nick Nolte.
Going to be close. Footballers have still got a few weeks left, but it's going to be close.
A lot of people have been calling up saying, were you joking? No, we're not joking. Frank Butcher, real name Mike Reed, the man who said, "Pot cow," has passed away. So we should probably be giving that clip a rest for a couple of days.
All right, yep.
Just for a couple of days. And, of course, yes, Lucky Grills died over the weekend. And thank you to everyone who's been sending in wonderful emails and a beautiful rendition from someone called Ethan Hunt. I don't think that's real. Isn't that from Mission Impossible? Yeah, okay. He sent in a beautiful, moving rendition of the Barjar song, Bargy Wargy Ass. I don't think they'll be wanting that sung at the funeral, I'm afraid.
Still, thank you, Ethan.
Don't break my ass, my Bargy Wargy Ass. I don't think my pants would understand. Yes, great lyrics preserved digitally on the upcoming Memorial DVD Bargearse. And the olden days, somebody pointed out to me that once this DVD comes out, the game's up at eBay, where currently Bargearse and olden days VHSs are selling for $120.
Gee.
As someone calling themselves Sonny Brizzy says.
How come?
Exactly. What about that documentary you guys put out years ago, says Mark Grimwood, about that stuntman, that crazy Canadian stuntman?
guy, yeah.
What is it? Where can I get it? It's only on VHS. It's called The Devil at My Heels, or it could be The Devil at Your Heels.
Is it Ken Carter?
Your Heels. Yeah, Ken Carter.
Ken Carter, yeah.
Memorialised in...
the Ammonia song.
The Ammonia song, Ken Carter,
Ken
exactly.
Carter.
Man tried to jump a car 1 mile.
Legend.
That's right, 1 mile. You should have seen how big the ramp was. He was serious. He was going to jump from Canada to the United States.
Legend.
Like a mile. Like, that's literally a flying car. Like, for several minutes, you would be a flying car. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a mile.
It's a long way to go.
You're in a car. For like minutes, several minutes in a row. That's not going to be a good landing. And he really tried to do it. And you can see what happens if you rent that documentary. I think it's only for rent these days. Orange. You can't miss that orange cover.
Right, okay.
Just reminding you, it's the 10-year anniversary of the Thredbo disaster. And lots of interviews with people today. Still in shock. You never get over it, is the quote. Recalling the disaster. You never get over waking up and being told that Craig McLachlan will be playing you in the telly movie, and that even though it's at the Snow, he's going to have his shirt off in the very first scene, which is what happened. Remember that?
No.
He had the shirt off.
I've had surgery to take the part of my brain out that remembers that. So
At the Snow?
No. Tony, I want to know about it.
I'm amazed he didn't have the guitar out. Like, is that how they found Stuart Diver?
And I remember him being slightly oiled, as if he'd laid down and someone got one of those things that they use to put oil on a chicken before they roast it. Just brushed him lightly.
He's in the wreckage somewhere. Listen, hang on. Is that the lick from Mona?
Ooh, Mona.
Dave Graney is sitting in with us, and we were talking conspiracy theories earlier, Dave. Now, you live in Melbourne.
I do.
Do you ever read the 50-50 column in the Herald Sun?
I don't, Tony, no.
Oh, you're missing out on some gold there. There's great letters here
Please
regularly.
tell me.
What's the idea of the 50-50 column?
Well, it's just a chance to float a nutbag theory and go a bit ranty.
Is it like Mere Mail in...
I love Mere
Mail.
It's,
Weekly.
it's letters beginning with the phrase Y-O-Y, you know, the kind of stuff.
I
And
like that, yes.
a lot of the letters come from someone called Joy Buttress of Dramana, who is a bit of a Joy Buttress. She's not a big fan of Joy. But we've been reading her letters out on the show, and somebody, Guy from Malvern, has written in to say there's no Buttress listing
Oh, my goodness.
for Dramana in the Melbourne White Pages. Could Joy Buttress be a made-up person?
Oh.
Surely that wouldn't be going on.
Maybe it's Phil Minge using a nom de plume.
Oh, because Phil Minge writes into
The Adelaide Advertiser.
The Advertiser. You're from South Australia, Dave.
Yes, yeah.
Do you remember
Phil
any?
Minge.
Did you have anything to do with any Minges? The Minge family, were they Mount Gambier? Any Minges in Mount Gambier?
Wasn't he in that all-male show with Mike Hunt?
I don't think he was. I don't think he worked with Michael Hunt. I don't think that's true at all. What was the one you said might be a made-up name, Richard?
There was Dorothy Plack.
Dorothy Plack, real person, apparently. When you mentioned that, a lot of emails came in saying, leave off Plack. Minge, suspect, Plack, real.
Perhaps Joy just isn't on the phone. She enjoys writing letters.
It doesn't seem like someone who would be living in the 21st century.
I don't think there's much of a conspiracy there, Tony.
Nothing there at all. Are there any conspiracy theories going around in the rock world at the moment? I mean, there's always urban legends and sort of mysteries, isn't there?
Well, you can always look on the internet for Tupac, and you'll find many mentions that he's not dead. And see, his album he was bringing out before he was killed, he was going to change his name to Machiavelli.
Yeah, that's right.
And I bought the Machiavelli album when it came out, and it starts out with gunshots, and it says Tupac is dead, and it was done before he died.
But see, that always happens when rap artists are killed. For years, firstly, they're still putting out records.
Amazing.
And videos of them being assassinated in varying different ways show up for months afterwards.
Well, both him and Notorious B.I.G. were obsessed with their own demise.
Right.
Yeah, so many of their songs. So, yeah.
And has that been sorted out yet? I mean, there's been several documentaries, hasn't there? It hasn't really.
I don't think it's been sorted out.
Hasn't been sorted out. Maybe that's what we want to talk about today.
Something about the alleged police being involved.
They're always
and they're doing the investigating.
And they're not going to catch themselves, are they?
Yeah, okay.
So there you go.
We can put that
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
How about this one? I'm a big fan of Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
Great songwriter. And also a great songwriter for other bands and groups. Pink Cadillac for Natalie Cole. Blinded by the Light. Hungry Heart was written for someone else, but do you know who?
Melonhead.
No. It was. I think Hungry Heart was released.
Neil Sedaka.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
The Ramones.
Oh.
How weird's that?
Really?
Yeah, it was recorded for the. It was actually written for the Ramones, and then John Landau said, "Actually, hang on to this one because you're giving too many of your hits away, like Fire and what have you."
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah,
it's quite cool. I
think Richard's contribution was good there, Tony.
It was good. I'd give yourself a sound effect. Just help yourself to one from
Surely
the Bain Marie.
Worthy of
anything at all. Go
worthy
mad.
of his name on
Go
there.
mad.
He's giving himself a round. A concert round.
Surely worthy of his name at the beginning of the show.
Well,
Tony.
that's going to happen, surely.
It's
the trouble is we don't want to... See, on this show, we try to allow people the dignity of their real names. Like, the only way they've managed to fit all our names onto the billboards in Brisbane is it's Tony, Ed and Rich.
Are you rich now?
See, and we're suddenly sounding like a normal show.
That's relatable.
We like and Richard Marsland on the buttons.
Tony, what's the matter with being normal? Eh?
Well, there's a lot of normal about. We're trying to offer an alternative.
There's lots of normal people listening to this show.
We're not talking about the listeners. We're talking about the content.
Oh.
Because if we go too normal, suddenly I'll be wearing a turban.
Normal.
And we'll be doing Battle of the Sexes.
Marks.
Yeah, do you want to come in here and play Battle of the Sexes, Dave?
I hope
Is that
John
what you want?
Howard is listening to this. So he likes normal
He's at
people.
Legends of Radio. 40 years of Talkback Radio. No one from this show invited.
I've been reading a book about radio. Do you know, in the early days of radio,
yes,
you all think, you have records and CDs. There were none.
No.
It didn't
that's
exist.
Right. The idea of playing records on the radio was considered insane when it was floated because all music was live.
We would be surrounded by... we wouldn't have an orchestra inside Ed's brain. It would be an actual orchestra.
A real orchestra.
That'd be better.
Manifested physically.
And who was it? Was some
waiting behind us, and Ed would have to conduct them for each sting.
Look, he's practicing the point.
The slide whistle section.
Your points never come in on cue. But you're right, Dave. The guy who floated the idea of, hey, let's just play records on the radio was considered insane.
Yes.
He was run out of the industry. And he went, bugger it, I'm just going to do it myself anyway. People thought that'll never last. Within 6 months, orchestra's out of business.
Yes.
Except for the ones here at Triple M. Obviously, every time Jet played, that's really happening live.
Of course it is.
And Bing Crosby was the man who was out on tour, and he would record his show onto tape, and he actually invested in tape and became
that's right
quite a rich fellow.
And that was considered odd and unusual as well, taping your shows and playing them back later.
Madness.
It's all got to be live.
Anyway, I digress.
No, but this is the kind of stuff we're looking for. Urban myths, rumours. Are they true? Hit us with another one, Mr. Marsland.
Okay.
I like that one, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah. Hungry Heart.
How about Mickey and Sylvia?
I love Sylvia Robinson.
Sylvan Robinson.
She did
Rapper's Delight.
Rapper's Delight. She was also in a 50s act with Mickey and Sylvia, and she did a solo album with a song called Pillow Talk that's on the soundtrack to Carlito's Way. Tony.
Haven't you sung a version of Pillow?
I have, yes.
That's a beautiful
produce, play guitar, engineer. Yeah, the Sugar Hill Gang she got it together.
That's right, yeah.
Mickey and Sylvia.
She's hot, Ed.
Really?
Yeah. She has, I believe, they call it bumps.
Oh man!
In modern parlance,
She's dragging that wagon.
We like to call them norks in our days.
Yeah. Well,
norks. I think it comes from the North Coast Milk Company.
Is that right?
Yes.
Because we prefer norks.
Milk and breasts being always associated.
So Dave's on my side. That makes it 2-2 because I say norks, Dave.
Yeah, we all say norgs.
Really?
Over here, I'm not sure where that's come from.
That's
good to see we're sticking with rock music.
Good stuff. Yeah.
How about Counting Crows? No, nothing interesting about them.
Yeah.
Okay. How about Elvis Presley?
Yeah.
I love Elvis,
today, back in 1954, his very first public appearance on this day. But he's related to someone very famous.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter?
Do you know? I'm not sure if this is true, Dave. Oprah Winfrey.
No way.
That's what I've heard.
Okay.
That's a damn lie.
How would Oprah be related to Elvis?
Yes.
I think back in the day, I'm not sure.
That is incredible, Richard.
Yeah, it's some sort of Presley connection.
No way.
Well, that's what I've heard. I don't know.
Does she like to fly 4 states away to get that sandwich with peanut butter and bacon. That's what Elvis would do.
I think the evidence is clear.
Pile all of the entourage onto a plane. They fly 4 states just to go to a place that made the peanut butter and bacon sandwich.
That's class.
Which required 2 men to hold it up so that Elvis could chow down. Okay.
I've got one more.
Let's hear it.
Back in '93, my very first rock interview, Mr. Dave Graney.
Oh, really?
Wow. See, did people know that?
Was I
No.
standoffish and mean?
No, you were wonderful.
Oh.
In fact, the publicist had to come in and ask us to wrap it up
Oh.
because
Oh.
I had run out of tape for
Yeah.
starters. But it ended up being a 45-minute interview talking a lot about Jack
And
Kerouac.
that's your first interview. And
I
talking
had-
about Jack Kerouac.
I had things to say. I had a backstory.
And Martin just thought it was him.
It's my front story that was the problem.
Well, we want to hear your backstories. Any kind of rumour or legend or rock fact you've
Can I
heard?
say Elvis didn't throw up his sandwiches either.
No.
He would take hours to take a long shit.
Yeah, that is
That's
true.
how he died.
And that
actually.
is eventually what-
straining over a compacted.
A number 2.
Pile of steaming.
Yeah, there was a bit of a
Elvis
backup.
waste.
I know that sounds made up, but it's sadly actually true.
Yeah.
G'day, Harry. How are you?
That Gene Simmons of Kiss had a cow's tongue surgically grafted onto his tongue. To
Yes,
make it
that's
longer.
true. Yes, that's very true.
You mean
yes.
it's an extender? You're
It's
saying?
a known fact.
He's packing an extender.
It's got hairs all over it.
But I mean, have you seen the tongue? I mean, when it's out, it just looks like a normal tongue, really long. It doesn't look like...
He's not the brightest guy in the world. It's actually a cow's cock.
Okay.
A bull's cock put
That's-
onto his tongue.
Obviously, that would make for...
Because they didn't have the technology to extend tongues. He went to the erectile dysfunction lab and they put an erect penis.
Wow, so that's that nasal delivery technology
That's right, yeah.
in action.
And they shoved it onto his tongue with a couple of safety pins and some blue tack.
You heard it here first. I hope that clears up all of your queries, listeners. Hello to Kiss fans.
Get this, it's blown out to 2 hours, 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.